WhiskyJason here, whiskey from the viewpoint of an American over here in Germany, tasting rare and exotic whiskeys. Today I have a Glencadam. This is a single cask. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to pull out the whiskey I'm going to compare it to, Glencadam single cask from last year. Now, I complained, I ranted and raved about this terrible packaging last year. All right, it feels like 1982. It feels like it wants to be synthetic leather. And there's that little window here. Look at this plastic window, yay. It is cardboard, but it's coated. It's just one of those things the world does not need. So we're just going to put this to the side. We're just going to leave this here. Oh, this was the glass I need. There's still a little bit left in there from my German video I just did. And we're going to pull out the other one here. And this is from 2012. Now, what we have here are two single casks from Glencadam. This is last year's bottling. I would like to just read some of the specs for you very, very briefly. So last year I paid 89 euros. This is Whiskybase 197780. This I paid 119 euros for it. And this was 11 years. This is 10 years. So I'm paying 30 euros more for 1 year less in age. 2012, 2010. Bottle 2021, bottle 2022. This was a first fill bourbon cask. This is a bourbon cask. This is 59.8%. This actually has 64.9. Has more alcohol due to taxes and excise taxes and so on, and costs less, 30 euros less. That's 25% less than this. All right, it just blows my mind the price increases in 1 year. All right, here we had 219 bottles. Here we have 256 bottles. So bourbon barrel, I'm just asking myself, is that maybe a hogshead? With so many, 256? All right, who knows? Okay, cask number 3686. And over here we have cask number 1299. All right, so we're just going to compare these on the nose. I like this nose. Pears, green apples, a little bit of vanilla, not much wood, even though it is a first fill bourbon cask. This was on my top 10 single malt Scotch 2022. I very much like this. Interesting enough, there were two other whiskey tubers in Germany where this exact bottle also made the top 10. 219 bottles and three different, with me included, three different whiskey tubers put this on their top whiskeys of 2022. It was a special bottle. This is a top. Now on the nose, this one, Whiskybase number 224900. It's less impressive. There is a little bit of barley sugar, a little bit of a pear, a little bit of a green apple. But it is a little bit of a green wood moment as well. As if this is not really up to par as this. So I'm going to look at my book again, and I'm going to talk about two things, and then I'm going to taste it. If we go to the book, Glencadam, the first thing between 2010 and 2012, no changes. So 2003, the distillery was sold to Angus Dundee Distillers. Now, according to our nice little malt yearbook 2023, we have here, every year Forbes magazine presents a list of the richest people in the world. If you narrow it down to individuals and families in the UK that are involved in whiskey, number one is unsurprisingly the family behind William Grant & Son, with a net worth of 3.4 billion. By the way, the richest person in the world is no longer Elon Musk, at least at this moment, at this time. It is actually the owner of Louis Vuitton Monet Hennessy. So the owner of Artbank and Glenmorangie is the richest person in the world. So if you're paying too much for your hot bake, you know who's getting the money. All right, that was a little bit of a elbow in the back on the side. So behind, in second place is Leonard Russell and family with just 202 million, controlling the Ian McLeod. That's the owners of Glengoyne, Tamdhu, and Rosebank. And the third place is the Hillman family, worth 158 million. And they are the owners here of Angus Dundee, which means Tomental and Glencadam. So I like Glencadam. I like Glencadam 10. I love this bottle. This is a top bottle. My only problem is this is not. So I'm going to nip on it. We're here at 59.8%. This is, for me, unbearingly hot. Wow. The alcohol heat just shoots out at you and really destroys, at least my experience with a whiskey. Now, the very, very first time I took this, it was like, wait, okay, my control whiskey, my calibration whiskey was only 50%. Maybe that's the reason why. It's still hot. Yeah. Okay, so I went over here. It's like, okay, this is 64.9%. This has 5 percentage points more alcohol. All right. So try it. Now there is a little bit of heat towards the end. 64.9%, I hope so. But this was so well integrated. It was just like, I can drink this just like God has intended. Oh, nice aftertaste. Wonderful little bit of transitions. A little bit of the fruit salad in there. That green apple, the pear, the barley sweetness is going on in there. A little bit of vanilla spice. A little bit of gooseberries. A little bit of yellow plum. A little bit of a honey melon. This is a wonderful, wonderful whiskey. I bought a second bottle, stashed it away, and was like, I like this so much. Now what I'm going to do is, okay, so this is hot. What do you do if something is hot? You dilute it down. So I'm going to take it from its 95.8% down to about 50%. All right. So I've added, a lot of you would say half a teaspoon. I only had a teaspoon of whiskey in here. All right. So now let's try this again and see what happens. It's more around 46, 48%. Now it gets creamier. I like that. But there's still like a chili catch. There's still a peppery moment going on there, and then the heat actually develops towards the end after you swallow, and kind of comes back on you. All right. The word I love in British English where they say, "Oh, my food is repeating on me." Yeah. Okay. I got heartburn. Now it still burns a little bit. This was, as I've said 3 or 4 times already, a top whiskey. This is from the same distillery. It's the same single cask program, and yet this is definitely for me a flop. I don't know if I'm going to do a flop video of 2023, but this could be a contender to be in the top 10 flops. Single malt Scotch out there. Now, this is our biggest problem, I feel. Someone asked me the other day, they just wrote, "Hey, Jason, what do you think about Distillery XYZ?" And I was like, oh, product A, I love. This is one of the best ones out there. Product Z, I hate. It's terrible. And it's like, how can you judge a distillery? You can ask me, hey, Jason, what do you think about this bottle or this expression or that? But the entire distillery, Glencadam does great stuff. Glencadam 10, one of the best values out there for money still. It's a wonderful, wonderful whiskey. This single barrel is fabulous. Kirsch, picked it out, and I commend them on their doing so. Wonderful. Whoever designated this as a single cask, I don't know what happened. They definitely have a different palate than I do. This is a no-buy whiskey for me. This is a D whiskey and a value for money F. First of all, 30 euros more, 25%. This is 25% less than this. It's mind-boggling. Going from 90 euros to 120 euros. And lowering the ABV, lowering the age, even leaving off something about the cask. This was a first fill bourbon. This is just a bourbon barrel. I expect when I pluck down 120 euros for a single cask, and I've had a single cask before, that I should at least be in the same league, in the same ballpark, in the same general area, vicinity. But no, this is totally different, and just heat of the alcohol. I have to dilute the 59.8% down to about 46, 48. For it to become palatable but not enjoyable. D, value for money F. Do I hate Glencadam? No, the opposite. I love Glencadam. Will there be another single bottle? Will I buy that? Yes, I will, because I hope I'm going to get another one of these, and I don't get another one of those duds. And this is always our problem with whiskey, especially single barrel whiskey. It's a lottery. For you, it's going to be a store pick. So if you're in America, store pick this, store pick that. Some are going to be absolutely fabulous, and some are going to be, ugh, what happened here? And here we have absolutely fabulous. Here we have and even over in Europe, we're getting to have that. I have to wait a year, but that's what I'm getting here. All right, so my question of the day, Glencadam, which bottlings do you like? The 18, the 15, the 10. I'm going to say the 10. Glencadam 10 is really one of those great things out there that's still affordable, still available, still yummy. So Glencadam 10. Thank you very much for watching, liking, subscribing, sharing, telling others, and I will see you back here real soon. Whiskey Jason, bye-bye. And by the way, Glencadam, please get rid of these finally. I know you're not going to buy new ones, and I know you won't throw away the old ones, but okay. Maybe you can send to them a different country that doesn't hate that as much as I do. All right, bye-bye.